What episode are we on? Is this 17?
18? 17? 17 or 18?
Let's just jump to 20.
The Talking Guys, almost episode 20. You'll see the number in the description. Yeah.
Damn.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing fine and dandy.
We're surviving.
Yeah.
I'm apparently doing better than Patrick.
On par for one of the worst intros on the show. But speaking of surviving, I don't know if you guys are or not, but COVID still a thing.
Really?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
so
not even real, bro.
A lot of people want to believe it went away, but still here. So Texas has basically mandated that the entire state is required to wear masks anywhere you go and through August 15th, but that'll most likely get extended. Does Louisiana have something similarly set in place?
Yep. But it's funny because it's still spreading like crazy, so who knows at this point.
Yeah, well,
who knows, dude?
Yeah. I mean, Louisiana has basically the same thing. As well as probably most states out there right now.
Yeah.
But most people are just, thinking that if they just do this, it'll be okay.
Yeah, it's weird. So if you go anywhere, a restaurant, for instance, you're required to wear one to get in. And then as soon as you sit down, you can take it off. But the moment that you need to get up and use the bathroom or leave, you're required or expected to put the mask back on.
Yeah, so what they're saying is just keep your germs to your table.
Yeah, the wait staff will still interact with you while you are not wearing a face mask. But, I guess that's the...
Why don't we should have shouting ordering? Work on social distancing. You just be like, hey, you over there, what you want? That'd be great.
Yeah, so a girlfriend took me to a ramen place in Fort Worth yesterday. Absolutely delicious. And the menus are done through QR codes, which is kind of cool. So instead of having an actual a menu. So most places, I know, went down to like a paper menu that was restricted, or I guess it had less on offer than their full menus. And then for a while, a lot of places reverted back to the menus they used previously. And now they're either using paper, or I guess now they're using the digital menus that you can scan with your phone, which I think is kind of cool. So I'm curious if that'll be something that eventually becomes a thing.
What we should do is everyone should get an implant. And then you get a little, eye thing, like a contact. So when you go somewhere, it just automatically pulls up the menu for you in your eye. And you can choose from there.
Dude, I would do it.
That'd be cool. That'd be super cool. It'd be like living in, the future. So I'd totally do it too. Have
you heard the people that are like, I get this probably every week at my job. And they're like, when they start making us have implants, and it's going to be the end of the world and all this stuff. And you're just like, listen, you do realize that you already have an ID that you are forced to have, and a social security number that you are forced to have. So really, if you really think about it,
they know where you are.
So if you get a chip, I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference.
Guys. I think implants would be a waste of money. Right now, you're having people pay for their phones that they're gonna take with them everywhere, anyways. So
yeah, why would you spend less, or spend probably a larger amount of money to put it in you, and then not have to spend any money after that? Or you just keep making people spend money over and over on a phone. That's what they're going to continue.
Yeah, most likely. But actually, it's funny you bring out new phones. The phone I recently bought is a Samsung phone. It's a newer one. And it has Samsung Pay. And it's like a digital wallet. So you can add your credit cards, debit cards, gift cards, membership cards, and you can use
Insurance, cards, airplane tickets.
Probably.
No, and
Yeah, but you can
okay,
use
on
them-
Apple you can, so I'm assuming on Samsung you can too, but you can add in all those things.
Yeah.
Airline tickets, insurance cards, all.
But the cool thing, so the really cool thing with the Samsung Pay, so it works anywhere a NFC terminal is used, and essentially, if it uses a chip reader on the machine, you can use Samsung Pay. So I know Apple Pay is more widespread than it was a while ago, but it still isn't accepted at every business. So when you pull your phone out and you use Samsung Pay, the cashier will look at you and say, "Hey, no, that's not going to work." And then you're like, "Oh, watch this."
If it's not working, then you need to report that business. It was mid last year, I think. Every company was required to switch to the chip.
Oh no, not the chip. I'm talking Apple Pay.
The Apple Pay works on the chip.
It doesn't.
The chip.
Nope. The terminal actually has to have Apple Pay built into it.
Okay, I'm not going to argue because I don't know facts, but I know it's worked everywhere I use it at, and it's everywhere with the chip.
I mean, I've definitely gone places and my Samsung Pay wouldn't work. So,
is it using an older terminal?
Well, they should have upgraded.
Yeah, mostly. I know this though.
It honestly pisses me off because I use Samsung Pay all the time at my work and just like places I go now. Now that I found out that you can do it, I'm just like tap.
I use my chips card. It's faster than the phone. If they accept just the tap method.
Oh yeah.
It's faster than the phone
tap
itself.
Cards are nice.
However, though, it's nice because you don't have to have your wallet on you.
But okay.
So, but you might need your ID. How did you get there? Did you drive?
Maybe you left it in your car.
Why would you leave it in your car? That's how you lose things. You can get them stolen.
A lot of these tap cards though, they just run as credit. So it's like, dude, like people can just like steal somebody's tap card and just like walk around and spend it, and you don't even have to show the card or anything. You're just like pop.
I mean,
yeah, actually at the ATM,
I feel like it's even making it easier to do credit.
I mean, it's just as easy to slide as it is to tap. I mean, well, I mean, it's not just as easy, but even if they can't tap, they can still slide it as credit.
Yeah, I've never understood the tap to pay with the cards. Doesn't make much sense to me because you would just insert it and it probably would take the same amount of time.
Not even slightly. It's like half the time, if that. And where we work, our machines are relatively fast, and the taps on it are like half the time, if that.
I guess the convenience of using your phone though is so for me. I'm allowed. My car allows me to keep the car running with the keys in my pocket. I can lock it remotely. So I may leave my wallet in my car and then run into a convenience store and pick up a couple of things. I can just use my phone.
Right.
And then, yeah. And it is more widely accepted than Apple Pay. And I know Apple Pay is expanding.
I'm gonna start following you around. We're gonna steal from your car all the time.
Okay.
I like it more too because I like it on the phone the most because I think the fact that it makes you either put your PIN in or like use your fingerprint in order to use the card, I feel like that's more secure. Even though I'm sure there's ways to hack into the phone and get past that.
Probably.
I think that's more secure than actually having a card on you nowadays. Like
most likely.
Even if somebody steals my phone, they still have to completely reset and rewash my phone in order to be able to ever use it. They're never going to be able to get into my phone without having my fingerprint, and nobody's going to be able, unless I cut my finger off. Okay, calm down here.
I'm not even going to cut your finger off. If you think your phone's that safe, you're wrong. You're wrong.
But I don't think they're going to be able to like completely 99% of the people that steal your shit are not going to know how to hack into a phone.
I mean, a cell phone is a baby computer. If you can hack a computer, you can hack a cell phone easier. You just got to connect it.
Yeah, maybe. I'll say this though, and I imagine Apple Pay probably has something similarly set up in place. Samsung Pay has a merchant log, so every transaction with that specific card, you can see the amount and the place of business you were at, which is kind of cool. You just tap the card and it shows like history of the different places that you've used, the amounts you've spent.
I mean,
So.
your bank app should do that too.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice that it's actually built into the app, and then you can have multiple cards from multiple credit companies or banks.
Ooh, I don't do credit.
Yeah, credit is bad.
Credit's so bad. I'm just kidding.
Don't ever get any.
I'm just kidding. Your credit score is the most important thing in your life. Actual advice.
Actual advice, yeah. But I was at the ATM the other day, and I thought it was kind of cool, because I had never done it before. They have the same thing with the tap and pay. So just hold your phone up against the terminal, and I don't have to worry about inserting the card, and then waiting for it to read, and then at the end removing the card. It was just my phone, which was pretty convenient. You were saying, Seth?
I don't know if I was saying, but a few episodes ago, I don't remember how long ago, we were talking about the new iPhone SE, right? I went and I bought a new phone yesterday.
Did you buy one?
I thought about it. I really did, because I wanted to, see how it worked for the price it was, because it was like $300, like $350, something like that. But it was so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't do it. I got big hands, so I didn't do it. But I thought about it, because I wanted to try it out and see how it worked compared to other phones. But yeah, I just couldn't. I was asking if they had a bigger version. No.
Yeah, the bigger version's the actual iPhone.
Well, no, there's a middle. There's a SE and then a.
You have the SE, you have the 11, then you have the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro.
No,
Max.
there's like an X something.
Oh
it was like $400 or so.
The 10R, which came out last year.
No, it was on their cheaper phone. It was like the SE, but slightly better. But it wasn't any bigger.
Yeah, you sure it wasn't the
10R? No, because it was the same thing as like the SE. It was just different letters. I can't think of them right now. But yeah.
Did it have Touch ID or was it Face ID?
It was Face ID.
Yeah, it was probably 10R.
So
it wasn't a 10R. I was looking.
Right.
I was researching. I went through every one of their phones, man. It was not a 10R.
Oh my god, you guys are ridiculous. Listen, you bought the best phone, didn't you, Seth? Be honest.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't actually.
Get?
I went with the 11.
Okay.
I didn't get the 11. I didn't get the 11 Plus because there's no real reason other than it being bigger. But the 11 itself is bigger than the. I mean, it was almost the same size as my 8 Plus. So the only thing is it's bigger than it has that extra camera.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it was almost $500 more.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's absolutely no point. Like,
I actually think the 11 is actually bigger than the 11 Pro.
$500.
It's not. They were standing right next to each other, but it's not there's not a huge difference. There's really
it's
not.
Slightly bigger, yeah. But then the Max that's the big boy.
Yeah, they had them all there, and the Max was just too big. It was more like getting like the was that Samsung Note 10? I think it's huge.
The Notes.
It's
it's
more of a tablet than a phone.
Best phone ever.
That's actually what I got was the Note 10 Plus.
I also looked at the One Pluses, which I never even looked into, but they run off Android processors and they were cheaper, but supposedly pretty good. But I just ended up going with Apple because all my work stuff is Apple and they link up real well.
What color did you get?
Black. They had black and purple. Really?
Purple.
Wait, you
said
didn't
like
get purple?
so like a lavender, like a light lavender purple. I didn't even see it, but if it would have been like a dark purple, I probably would have went with it. I love that color.
Actually,
but it's like a lavender purple, not really, not for me.
I think that's the color my girlfriend has is the lavender. It's pretty cool looking. I'd buy it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it was darker, I probably would have went with it. But I also, always have a case on it, so I wouldn't have even been able to notice. So
yeah, I have a black case on mine, so I can't even tell what the color of my phone is.
Yeah, it's actually funny you bring up cases because this will transition nicely. You had mentioned earlier, Seth, that you went to look at the SC and it was too small, right? The other day, I'm going through one of my drawers, and I've got a lot of my old phone cases in there. And I've got one from, I think my first smartphone was the iPhone 4S. I've got a couple of cases for it. And just the size is
so small.
At the time,
I had the 4S once.
At the time, it was like this is the best it's ever going to get. You know, it's like a 3.5-inch screen. The phone I've got now, I think, is 6.7 or 6.8 inches.
Is average.
You know,
Don't diss on it, all right?
but you.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just too. All right, continue.
No, it's just it's funny. You know, at one point, Steve Jobs, when the Note had come out, people were praising the size because I think it was 5.5 inches or something, which is small considered to what we have today.
So small.
True.
And
So
you know,
small.
Steve Jobs had said, you know, oh, we're never going to make a phone that big because no one wants that.
He
Now
was
they make
wrong.
phones bigger than that because that's what people are wanting. And then you go back and you look at those phones that came out 10 years ago, and just the size difference is just
Huge.
Yeah,
you wonder how you were okay with that, because
my work phone is
it
a
fits in your
6,
hand.
and it's so small.
Like it's smaller than my hand.
Yeah.
And it's just
I shouldn't be able to hold my phone like this and be able to like hit things on the top super easy. Like that's just so small. Like I could just do anything with my thumb on my work phone because it's so tiny.
The thing is, though, like back then, you know, we didn't use our phones for as much as we do now. So it was like, okay, I text. I'm not going to use data because data was like outrageously expensive at the time. The majority of people didn't even use like, a lot of data. They didn't get on websites, etc. They barely browsed. And I remember the first, I think it was my mom's phone, trying to look something up, and she tried to like Google something on her phone, and it took like no joke to load the Google page, just the search bar. It took like 40-50 seconds for it to load.
Wait, that's not normal?
No. And so it's like these little tiny screens, but really all you did was text and call people at the time. So now it's like, and then play Snake on your phone. And now it's like, half the people in the world don't even really, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't even use actual PCs or laptops, and for the majority of their things they just use their phone for PC functions because of how advanced they are now. You don't really need a computer as much as you used to.
Yeah, I mean some things
Obviously,
are easier on a
computers are
computer,
better.
like with a keyboard. Like you have to fill something out, but you don't need it. Almost everything comes in a mobile version. I will say something about the Face ID that I didn't know about. Is like if it doesn't see your face, it doesn't, like, it'll show there's a notification. It'll say like an iMessage or Discord, but you can't actually see it. But once it sees your face, it'll actually pop it up so you can read it.
Yeah, I've actually seen
cool.
that. It's really cool because it's almost like it's a
just like privacy. Someone can't just like tap your phone and look up your screen. It'll just
well, I was gonna say the way it's revealed is almost like if like
what?
you're using
I can't
so
spy on your phone anymore without actually unlocking it. This is BS.
So I've got that, and then I've also got my privacy screen that I always use. So I mean,
So
you're just screwed, man.
The way it's revealed,
they're just enabling cheaters now. They're just enabling them.
I mean, you just gotta follow the culture, man.
Yeah, it's almost like if you were using like invisible ink, and
that's something else you can do on iPhone.
Yeah, right. But that's almost what it looks like whenever it detects your face and it turns the message from private into where you can actually look at it. You can actually turn that off. But it's nice.
I think it's cool.
I would never use that because I don't want the government or Apple knowing my face. Okay.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Let's circle back to those IDs we talked about earlier.
Yeah, one last thing because I know we're going to move on. You mentioned, Seth, when holding your phone and tapping the top of it, does the original iPhones had the power button, not the power, you have the sleep wake button on the top right. Yeah. And thinking back, it's how was that practical?
I mean,
but it worked because
you should always two-hand your phone though, so you don't drop it.
Yeah.
Right. So it just having it on the top just it makes you safer. Right.
Yeah, so recently I finished Fargo. It took me a little while to get through the third season because I've been busy. But overall, great show. And after your suggestions to watch it, I'm now watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah,
done with the first season.
It's good, especially for being aimed at kids. It's still
Oh yeah,
enjoyable as an adult. I do wish that there would be they make another version with more killing, because I mean, like, they could have solved a lot of problems. But instead, they're just like, we're gonna fight you for a minute and run away, so you can come back and try and catch me again tomorrow. But yeah, no,
there's a couple of scenes that I've noticed in some episodes where like Aang, who's the main character, hence the Avatar. He's the character, the main character. Yeah,
you just gave it away. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, he'll do something, right? So like, there's one episode. There's these soldiers that are fighting, and they're on this cliff. And he does something, and then basically causes like an avalanche, and then those soldiers are now covered in snow. Well, yeah, they're dead basically, but it doesn't actually show them getting killed. But it's alluded to.
No, they're always fine. They're always fine. I'm sure if you pay attention to the soldier's face, you'll see him in the next episode.
Oh yeah, because they all look the same.
Damn it. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, my favorite character of the show is the cabbage guy. I don't know if you've seen him yet, but the cabbage guy.
My cabbages.
He's always in the wrong place.
That's the same guy. Yeah. Well, you mentioned with the maturity of the show is it's there, especially with it being aimed at children and a animated show on Nickelodeon when it aired. There was a lot of mature themes and references.
They're like underlying though, so like kids don't catch it, but you watch as an adult, and I mean, you can learn some life lessons.
Yeah,
just gotta listen to.
And there are things in the background too, if you pay attention, that probably kids aren't gonna catch, but there's a nice attention to detail that's actually drawn and animated when they didn't have to.
Yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, what are y'all watching right now?
A lot of stuff. I mean, I'm literally bouncing between shows depending on my mood right now. Like, normally I just watch something and finish it. It all depends on my mood, because I'm watching Hannibal still, and it's super dark, and so like some days I don't wanna watch it. But then we're watching The Order together, which we're barely watching. I started a couple other shows that they're not pulling my attention, so I'm just kind of like bouncing around right now a little bit.
Would you guys watch like a serious show? So for instance, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, those caliber shows where the attention that it requires for you to understand everything, it has to be there. When y'all watch a show like that versus Avatar: The Last Airbender, for instance, do you watch just that show until you finish the season, the series?
Usually I watch through the entire thing.
Okay, yeah.
If it's all out, I'll watch the entire thing. If not, I'll watch whatever's out and wait for the next part. But that's pretty much anything. I don't usually bounce around on shows, which is why it's weird right now that I am. Because I almost always, if I start a show, I finish it or I stop because I don't like it.
Yeah, as I feel like your attention, like your short-term memory, could get lost if you're switching between a bunch of shows that are very serious in nature. Or maybe that's just me.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'd keep up with them. I just usually, if I like a show well enough, I'm gonna watch it. Like, I want to watch it all. It's just, again, like I said, Hannibal is just insanely dark, and sometimes you need to take a break from it.
How many seasons does it have?
3 or 4? 3.
Is it like 10 episodes or like a 24 episode format?
I just kind of watch as it goes. I think I saw 18 on one of them, so probably a little. Okay. But I don't remember for sure.
I've never watched any of the movies, read the books, or watched the show. I know a little bit about the character. Does it follow the movies? Is it like a sequel? Is this an original story with characters and they're all fresh? Where's it going?
Yeah, Patrick, where's it going? I haven't watched or read anything other than this either. He keeps getting on to me about it because I haven't seen the Silence of the Lambs.
Well, it's before all of the movies because it wouldn't work obviously if it was after the movies. Because if you've seen the two movies, then you know that at the end of it all, like it gets wrapped up. Like there's no way that he's yeah. I'm not gonna spoil them. They're great movies. You should definitely watch them. But the show is like when he's younger, um, before because in Silence of the Lambs, he's an old man by that point. So I guess that's a spoiler alert, Seth.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I know who plays the characters. I mean, I know he's
Yeah.
older.
But I mean, he's still the same kind of person. Like very like ominous, creepy, uh attention to detail, very like, elitist uh tastes where like he's very like fancy and thinks I guess like you would think of him as like nobility almost. Like he's like somebody that um believes in all the most exotic tastes and things you could think of, and he likes classical music and all that stuff. So they get all of that in the show. I mean, like his persona is they do a really good job. Um and but I don't know. The thing is the movies were made so much like such a long time ago compared to
Yeah,
the
it's been a while.
show that like just like the graphics and like the amount of detail they go into like with gore and crap is just like on a whole
Ooh.
different level.
Oh, it was made in 1991.
Yeah, so I would say like the movies are really good and they're disturbing, but the show is more disturbing. Just
Sir
because
Anthony Hopkins.
they
Yeah, he's
just
the
because
one
they
in the
focus
Silence of the
on
Lambs,
stuff so much more and they get into the psychological and they have a lot of
which
like
is why I
really
love it.
just
Like, there's a lot of
disturbing.
psychological stuff in there.
So does it start where he is just normal, I guess for lack of a better term, and by the end of the first episode he kind of it's already going by the time
Yeah,
the
well,
show
I
starts.
mean, I don't even think he's in the first episode. Like, he comes on as an extra character kind of thing.
Is it an origin story though for him?
Not really. I
No,
mean, he's already going. Yeah, he's already
Okay.
going, and they immediately let you know who he is. Like, so there's no like, you're wondering who the killer might be. It's just immediately like this guy right here is doing it.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't even know if he's in the first episode because he comes on as your main character, or whatever, Will Graham. He comes on as his psychiatrist.
yeah. So
And then he
he's
just gets more and
he's a
more in everyone's
psychiatrist,
life.
dude.
Yeah.
He takes care of people and they like talk to him and then he's like brutally murdering and cutting people up and eating them. So it's like actually a really kind of creepy
Yeah. Yeah, it's all
uh
sorts of weird.
dynamic. I don't even know.
But yeah, I mean, I like it because I love the psychological side of things, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of just like planting ideas and watching them grow from so many different people in it, because there's like 4 different psychiatrists or whatever, like doctorants in psychology, and they're all kind of like playing with each other, trying to get them to do things. And so it's just super interesting. And then for being a Netflix show, it is super gory.
Oh, it's a Netflix original.
Yeah, and it's super gory, which more of like what you'd expect on the HBO side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's The Boys season 2. I don't know. Did y'all happen to watch the trailer for that?
Yes, I have seen it.
As far as I'm aware, the first 4 episodes are going to be released the beginning of September, the first week, I believe. And then I think after that, they'll release 1 episode every week. And I assume they do that so people don't just subscribe for the free trial, watch the show, and then cancel it. Or they're doing it because with COVID, you have a lack
Isn't
of
it on Amazon Prime though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So most people just have Amazon Prime. They're not gonna unsubscribe or resubscribe.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. Some people
I'm
subscribe to a particular service because
never gonna
of
get rid of Amazon Prime. If there's one thing I can advertise, no, okay, we're not advertising for it, but my personal preferences, I love that thing. I'll use it for forever.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I die.
I believe it's because right now you don't have a lot of things being produced. So it allows the content to get stretched over a period of time rather than just 1 week. And people
Yeah,
would
build up is
binge it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that will lead to the next. I don't know if you guys had heard Zendaya, the actress. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if it was finished or the majority of the episodes are finished. She's on a television show on HBO called Euphoria, and they have been filming in California actually during the pandemic. An article I read had mentioned that they are in a basically a I think they called it's a bubble or it's a contained quarantined area, and it's a very few amount of people that are working on this project, which I guess allows them to not have to worry about the large amounts of people that usually required to produce television shows or movies. And so I don't know if like I said, I don't know if the second season has been filmed completely or if it's close to being finished. But I know that that is something that I guess has now been discussed or has been released, which is interesting because it makes me wonder if that's something that will gain traction and become bigger as this pandemic continues to stay. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I mean, people gotta work. There's a way to do it. I mean, I don't know how extreme you can go. Whether that's while they're shooting, everyone stay on set, like have living quarters there too, and so there's just everyone gets tested coming in, and then no access to the outside world, or how they do it. But I mean, people gotta still work. It's not the the big celebrities that need money. It's all the extras and the camera people and all that. They still need to work.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I'm curious, if this isn't going anywhere anytime soon, it doesn't look like it's going to. Is there going to be a point where we just say screw it and
Yeah.
then just resume life like it was before, and then if you get sick, you get sick? Because there's only so much. I know I've talked about it in length, and probably I'm not going to get too far into it. You only have so much money, that can be given out, and eventually people are just going to have to go back to the way of life they had before, we get to a point where it's just there's so much irreversible damage that will take years to fix. Who knows? I know baseball, I guess, is has decided that, and I'm glad I didn't bet money on this because I know actually I think in the first episode of the Talking Guys, I actually said that I thought they'd cancel the season. But I guess they're going to go ahead and do a fanless season, or at least for the time being. And I believe it's the end of the month or the beginning of August. I think they're going to resume.
That is
And
super
actually, so
interesting.
I follow the Texas Rangers on Facebook, and right now they are taking cardboard cutouts, cut-ins, stand-ins. So if people want to submit like a picture of themselves, and then they will take
No.
it. Yes, I'm dead serious. They will take it and they will put it in the stands, so it looks like there are people actually in attendance. I think it's more of like a psychological thing for the players than for the television crews. But yeah, I guess that's the thing they're doing.
Oh my
Um,
goodness,
I
that's funny.
when during 4th of July we hung out with some friends, and one of
At a
the
distance.
the brothers of the friend that we all know, he was watching soccer, and he said for the soccer, right? They've been playing soccer, like they didn't stop. I guess the soccer people are still playing soccer. There's just nobody allowed in the stands, and they have it to where if you can listen to the game with FIFA sound or without it, and they'll put fake sound noise in. Like they'll put the FIFA crowds in that when you're playing like FIFA the game, they'll put in the sound of like the random crowds that are like, yeah, cheering for the teams while you're playing. or you can take it out and you'll just hear the game how it is, and it's all like quiet and they're just playing their game with nobody there.
That's
So
cool.
he said
That's
it, but
a
he
little
said it's
funny.
kind of weird to hear the FIFA noises and then there's like nobody in the stands, so he just preferred to listen to it quiet. But I was like, that's just so. I mean, I think that's what they have to do though, like because they can't just like not work. People can't just not work. I really think that already you're seeing is people are not just staying home. So that ended like 2 months ago. Oh, no, not like a month ago. They've been out in force since like they first put in the effect and everybody stayed home for like 2 weeks. People have not been staying home
That was
anymore.
nice. Traffic was nice.
Yeah, and so people are back out. People are trying to live their lives. I don't think it's ever going to go back to exactly the normal way. Even because the thing is, people, even if the disease gets under control, right? Like the economic
Repercussion.
damage this has caused over the last whoever knows how long this is going to continue to go on. The economic damage it's causing in the world and in America, it's not just it's worldwide really, so it's not even America. It's like there's going to be some massive repercussions, and people aren't really thinking about that right now because right, they're getting unemployment checks and such, but that's not going to be able to continue to happen. And when it does, there's going to be a ton of people that are going to have no way of making money, and there's going to be no jobs because all these companies went bankrupt. So and I think in the continuing days, if it continues to be this way, there's going to be more and more companies that are going to go bankrupt, and they're not going to reopen because they just can't sustain the profit loss. And it's just, I don't know. That's why it's like, if you have a job, keep your job, buddy.
Yeah, I
Because
saw
you don't want to be
yesterday.
one of the people that they're like, oh, I'm just going to quit my job and I'll just find another one. I don't think that's how it's going to work. Like, you guys,
Right?
but hey.
Have you heard the great news? At least
What?
great news for the working people.
Oh, yeah.
Unemployment stops on 7/25. The federal unemployment, the $600
Oh,
is
no.
done.
Unless
So,
unless
Oh, no.
no, it's been said that it's done.
They can't. Like, I know everybody was arguing about it, but it's like, and I don't know, we don't talk about politics much, but it's not even about politics, it's about money. There's no way for them to sustain the amount of money they were spending for unemployment for that long. There's no freaking way, dude. They spent $3 trillion.
Yeah,
$3
I
trillion.
can't remember the exact numbers, but in Louisiana, before all this, it was like 200 something thousand people were getting unemployment a month, and after, they said it was over 1 million people. Like after they upped it, because I mean people are super taking advantage of the
Yeah,
system.
yeah,
And
and I
so
was
it's
like,
killing everybody, and it's making my job harder. So that's why I'm happy about it. Because
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's been
frustrating
awful.
because it's designed for the people that lost jobs, the people that were unable to work because their business was closed, right?
and
But
I agree with
then
that, but
but
they
you've
took
got
restrictions
people
away.
that have intentionally quit their job because they'd make more off of unemployment than they did working their
And
minimum
then
wage job for 20 hours a week.
they act like they're looking for
Well,
employment, but
yeah, I
they're
mean
not looking for employment.
I was told this from somebody who works in the unemployment here in Louisiana, and they said that it used to be every single person who applied, they would look through their stuff or whatever, but now it's more of a just put a stamp on it and push it over. Like they're not even
Yeah, there's too
really
many
like,
people,
so
not enough.
you don't even
Yeah.
really have to be looking. You don't. They're just giving away $800 a month per person. Just being
Yeah.
like, here you go, there you go, there you go.
And I feel for the people that are gonna hurt because they don't have a job or they couldn't
Right.
get a job for whatever reason. Maybe they got sick. Who knows?
Or I
But
mean, their company did so
if
like wasn't doing well and they got laid off. I mean, that happens, and
yeah,
unemployment's there for that. But they've got to put in the steps to weed out the people who are just playing the system because they don't want to work.
Yeah, and if you didn't have people that were taking advantage and abusing it, then most likely instead of being 725, they probably could have extended it further out. But
Without a doubt.
there becomes a point where it's just like now you're bleeding money and you cannot sustain the financial burden that you are losing because you're just giving so much out.
Oh yeah, and where I work, it's like, dude, the amount of people that have been using food stamps for the stupidest, like the dumbest purchases you could possibly do. It's like it's such a slap in the face because it's like you s- you watch these people come in and they buy all this crap that's like pointless, that they don't need, that's not nutritional in any way, shape, or form, and they'll drop $50, and you're like, Jesus, $50 for snacks and like junk food, and then they'll whip out their yesterday. I literally had yesterday this lady cussed her son out because he pulled he pulled her credit card out and was gonna slide her actual debit card, and she was like, "You f that," and like, you're actually gonna spend real money? I don't have real money to spend on this. That's literally She literally said that, and then dropped $30 on junk food, and she used food stamps. So,
Yeah.
it was like she had no intention. If she was spending her own money, she would never spend the money like that. Not on that scale. She might come in and buy some chips or whatever. But I mean, they bought almost $30 worth of junk food. None of it was nutritional. Well, they did
Yeah.
buy some water, so I guess you could argue bottled water. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
about the only thing in the entire $30 they spent. They bought 2 bottles of water. The rest of it was all just straight sugar and junk.
Yeah.
And
At
and
my
I
old
see that
job.
every day. People come in and they've been
Mhm.
dropping, and then when you print their receipts out, you can see what their
Their
balance
their
is.
remaining balances, yeah.
Some of them have like $1,000 in food stamps. And
Yeah.
and they're coming in here and they drop $30 every day at my store buying junk. And that's what they use their food stamp. I have a person that comes in every day. They buy all of my Lunchables. They buy like 12 Lunchables out of my store, and then spend food stamps for it. So they're dropping like $4 or $5 for each of those Lunchables. Like, you could just go make a freaking sandwich from the store and spend like no money. It's just crazy.
Yeah, at my old job, um, similar situation. I'd have customers that would come in and they drove nicer cars than I'll probably ever have. Shoes, uh, 3-4 times the price that I have. Purses, jewelry, clothes, all nice. And they'd come in and spend 150, $200 on junk food. And look, I get it. There are people that are on that program that actually need the help. And it's the same thing with the unemployment where you have so many people that are on this and they file for it so they can abuse it and they can get free food that is unhealthy, that will not sustain them at all, but it's extra free for them. And they would drop $200 on junk food and then turn around, pull out a debit card, and then buy $40 worth of alcohol,
Yeah. Oh,
$50 worth of tobacco. That's just like, look, how? It's clear that you are taking advantage of this, and there are people that legitimately need help, and you are causing there to be problems here. And it was frustrating. As I said, it's just like the rest. They've got money to spend on that, but they decide not to, and they want to spend the money on things that they don't necessarily need. And then you see people that are struggling, and it breaks my heart seeing that.
yeah.
Just
Yep.
that you've
It's
got
not
people
cool.
out there that have been given so much, and they're not thankful. They don't think about the help that they've gotten.
Oh, I'm sure that a lot of those people, if you ask them, they'd think that they should get more on their food stamps every month or whatever.
Yeah. It's
Like,
that entitled.
yeah,
I'm entitled to this, even though it makes no sense.
yeah.
It makes me upset. It makes me angry
Yeah, I mean,
because
Yeah, because I would never want to go away with unemployment or food stamps or something like that because there are plenty of people who need it. As they're trying, like they're dealing with something and trying to get back on their feet, but it's just
Yeah,
too
like
easy. The system
social
needs to be
safety
relooked
net.
at because it is just too easy to get away with. I mean, I definitely don't qualify, but I have a feeling I could probably go and get it if I wanted. Like,
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't. It's just it to me when I see it, it's like a slap in the face to all of us that work and we're busting our asses. And lately, for me and my job, I've worked ridiculous hours and we'll probably have to continue to work these ridiculous hours. And I'm salaried, so I get paid the same no matter how many hours I work. So really my company's benefiting from me having to work all these hours because I'm just saving them a ton of money by being salaried and working 80 something hours a week or whatever, 60, 70 hours a week. And they don't have to pay anybody else to do those hours. But, all these people that come in and work and we bust our butts and it's like, dude, they pay $800 a week for unemployment. That's $2,400 a month. That is almost my salary, like what I get paid. They're getting the same amount of money I get paid, just sit at home and do nothing. And I bust my butt. I'm stressed out all the time. I work my ass off, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, you're employed. And it's like, yeah, I understand that at some point, the judgment day is gonna come for people, and it's gonna be like those people that were lazy, that don't care, that won't put any effort in, they'll have their day in court, right, in some shape or form, And I'm not gonna be happy about that either because it's just sad. It's sad to know that like there's gonna be some real hard times for some people, and I'm, who's going to help them? And there's, we're not going to be able to help them all. I don't know. It's crazy. I think we're going to be some interesting times, and it's just sad. Uh, Kind of a sad time we live right now.
yeah. No, one last thing because we'll probably move on topics. But earlier you had mentioned one. I think it was Seth had mentioned stores closing. I know they were probably on their way out anyways. The majority of businesses are probably on their way out, and this has just kind of helped push them. But I know Hobby Lobby is closing a lot of stores. I saw an article yesterday that said J.C. Penney's was closing like 125
I thought
stores.
JCPenney's went bankrupt.
Yeah, I think they did at one point, and I think this is probably just going to be the final nail in the coffin. But it's just all those other employees, thousands of employees now
They're not
that
getting their jobs back.
yeah,
Right.
it's actually I don't want to spend too much on this, but I remember years ago, I think it was like a year or two before Blockbuster went bankrupt. I had a buddy of mine that wanted being a manager. He tried to get me on board, and it was right before they went out of business. So hindsight, yeah, I'm glad I didn't take the job. But it's just you never know, because that was something that I thought would be kind of interesting. Working as a teenager, working at a video rental store
Right.
as a teenager
Would have
was
been
always
interesting.
something that was kind of seen as like I guess like a cool job to have. But yeah, not anymore.
anymore. Yeah, I mean, right before all of this started, like when I moved to Baton Rouge, I was offered another job, and I almost took it, and I would have been real screwed if I did, because everything happened right after.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy time we live in, and it's like, you just gotta keep your mental strong, and I guess don't let it get you too down. Um, I don't know. That's really all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, and
I feel
2020,
like
man.
it's kind of a sad topic. We're gonna bring everybody down, man. Supposed to talk about stuff that is exciting and happy. Instead of just bummer stuff.
Yeah, we probably should have left with or probably should have led with this story, so it got progressively better and more lighthearted as the show moved on. But I guess not.
No, it's a doomsday today.
Yeah. Hey, actually, I got a fun topic
Okay.
that should cheer your spirits up and probably those listening. So the other day, I'm on the highway going down 20, not going 20 miles an hour, just going down I-20, and I hear this car as I'm the second to the left lane. I hear this car behind me, to the right of me, just scream past me, and it was I believe it was a Charger SRT, and it was just it was hauling, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, I can't really keep up with it, but I'll do the best I can. So I start following along at a reasonably safe distance,
And speed.
and yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah. So not even 10 seconds later, this Charger Hellcat. So I'll say on the SRT, I think it was not stock, uh, or maybe it was just incredibly loud, but it did not sound or look stock. And this Charger Hellcat, which was significantly faster and much louder, uh, zooms past that car. So they start having races, and every single time the Hellcat would just destroy it. But I thought it was the funniest thing because the first guy that passed me thought he was all that, and then a car that was significantly better than
In
his.
in
Uh,
in the words of Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish.
yeah, it
Always.
was because this guy, he's hot rodding around, zooming in and out of cars, and before you know it, this the big brother shows up. It's like, I'm here to teach you a lesson. So they would line up for rolling starts and take off, and I'm doing everything I can in my four-cylinder car to keep up and not to race them, but I just want to watch, because it's something interesting to look at. But yeah, every time the Hellcat would just destroy it, and maybe 5-6 minutes goes by, and they keep doing the races, and uh, we passed this Challenger Hellcat,
Oh
and
shit.
no, so that Challenger Hellcat was just chilling, because I know if it wanted to, it could have beat both those cars. Because I think the Challenger weighs less than the Charger does by a couple 100 pounds. I think the Hellcat, not the Red Eye for the Challenger or the Charger, but I know the regular Hellcats on both of those. I think they use the same engines, but because the Charger weighs more, it would be a slower car. Seth, am I wrong?
I don't honestly know the weight ratios on them, so but I mean, I believe that the Challenger is the faster of the two, but I don't know why. I don't know if it's engine or weight or what.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So we passed the Challenger. Challenger's just like, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time with you guys. So I thought that was kind of a fun,
A better man than I am.
yeah,
That's how I am.
kind of a fun thing to see. It's just the one car that passes me, thinking he's all that, and then he gets shown up almost immediately, and then we pass the car that probably just destroy all three of us, and he's like, nah, another time.
Yeah, because he's probably actually
I
intelligent
mean,
and he
I can't.
realizes the risk is
Probably,
not worth the reward.
I can't tell you
yeah.
how many people like through trash talking on social media about cars because I drove. I used to have a little Honda, but the thing was fast. Like I put down Mustangs and Corvettes all day long. Um, I so many people trash talk me on social media sites and then try and get me to race. I can't tell you how many of them. I was just like, you're not worth the gas that I would waste because that thing sucked gas, obviously, and so I was just like, nope. And that's probably what that guy was thinking. He's just like, nope.
Huh. I don't know. It's like I've never owned a car that's been that insanely fast, right? That I just could whoop people's butts. But I've always been someone that I'll go with you when it comes to just speeding. Like I don't care what your car is. If I'm speeding and you show up, I'm going to continue to speed. Like I'm not going to change my speed. I'm not going to play, who's the faster car. I'm just going to drop my speed limit. And if you want to come with me, you can. If you want to go faster, you can. But it's so funny that people will like because I have a really bad lead foot, and I've driven like 100 miles or more an hour before for like a long time, and I'll have these cars that are like super fast, and they'll whip by me. You know, they'll pull up on me and they'll tailgate me. They'll whip by me. They'll get like 2 miles ahead of me, and then they'll slow all the way down, and then I get on their ass, and so then they're like whip by me again, and then they'll slow down. I'm like, would you just stop? You know, your ego is so ridiculous, dude. Just either drive faster than me because you want to drive faster than me because you're just like that, ballsy. Like you don't care if you get caught. You don't care. You're gonna go 110 miles down the highway. Doesn't matter what happens. Or just go the speed limit you want to. If I pass you, I pass you. If I don't, I don't. It's actually insane watching people's like psychology when they're driving, and you're just like, I used to when I was a lot younger, I used to like, try and do that. And now I'm just like, I'm going 90 miles an hour or whatever, right? If somebody passes me, I just get over and let them pass. And then I go on with my day. I don't care if they get in front of me. It's not a big deal. I just want to go my 90 miles an hour and not have to keep going off my gas and pressing my brake pedal. So, but people like are just ridiculous about it. And I don't know. It's just so insane to watch people do that. And it never fails. There's always somebody that has to like try and show you up. And you're just like, just speeding because I like to get places faster, man. I don't need to like prove to you that I have the faster car. I'm sorry, buddy. And they get like mad about it. And then they don't really want to speed, but they can't let the little Lexus pass them. It's like they can't let me speed more than them because it would be like I don't know. I guess that's just like such a ego hurt to have a car pass you
Mm-hmm.
that's a slower car that shouldn't be able to beat you in a race. But I don't race them. I will never race people. I don't race people. I want to go the speed limit I want to go. If you're gonna go it, you're gonna go it. If not, I'll tailgate your butt. I don't care. Just get out of my way and let me go on my way, and we'll be good. And I'm not gonna hold people up, like, because I'll have people going like 130 miles that'll roll up on behind me, and I get out of the way before they even get to me. Like, all right, see ya. Have a good day. Cool. Now I know if there's any cops in front of me for at least another 10 to 15 minutes, I'm good.
Yep.
That's what I think about people that speed like that fast. I'm just like, oh, cool. I call it my bunny rabbit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there's my little bunny rabbit, and he goes ahead and he gets caught by the predator, and I'm like, good, I'm safe. The cop's gonna get him and sometimes, like you said, Will, I'll pull up behind him, and once they speed by me, I'll like let them get like a quarter of a mile ahead, and then I'll start driving their speed limit and just chill. And I'm like, I know if there's a state trooper or something on the side of the highway, they're gonna pick that first car because it looks cool anyways, but it's also going like 110 miles an hour. They're not just going to let it drive by. And then as soon as I see that happen, I'll just slow down and go on my way. And ever since I've started using that strategy, let me tell you, I have gotten not very many tickets.
Not very many.
No, I don't think I've gotten a single ticket. Really, I haven't.
I've only ever gotten one speeding ticket, so.
Bro, okay. Well, we shouldn't talk about that.
And I do nothing but race. Or I used to do nothing but race. Not anymore.
Last time I got a speeding ticket, it was because I was racing. And that was almost 5 years ago. And when that happened, I was so pissed off about it. I said, I'll never do this again like this. I'm not going to get it.
Yeah.
It just costs so much money. It's just.
Yeah, I
hate giving more money to the government. Okay, that's the biggest thing ever. Especially, how much money government wastes on stupid crap to just like give them more money. Ugh. They take so much money in taxes, and I just give more money.
Yep.
I don't want to do it. So I don't follow the speed limits, but I follow them. I break them very smart now. Very smart.
Not actual advice.
I'm smart, man.
Yep. That's I think it's gonna be it for us this week, guys.
All right.
Is this 17? Is this 18?
I don't know, dude.
It's one of those numbers, dude.
Yeah, this is the Talking Guy is almost 20. We're just gonna go ahead and call it that episode. Almost 20.
Almost 20.
Yeah, actually that's title name right there. Boom, on the spot. Yeah.
Mm.
Thanks
And
again.
we'll figure out what day it is. I mean, what episode it is at some.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's incalculable though. Thank you again for watching, supporting our content, liking us on Facebook and Twitter and all that other social media plugs.
TikTok.
If you have a favorite legally driven speed limit, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. If you have a favorite story about how you saw two cars interact with each other on the highway, let us know in the comments. There we go.
Oh, I got
Yes,
stories.
I know there are
Oh man,
probably
I have stories. You should have brought that up, dude. We could have told.
Oh,
maybe we'll have that
keep
for
my
next week. I
stories.
don't
No,
know.
keep my stories
Or
to
you can
myself.
leave in the comments and have a discussion with Patrick, and then you guys can just
Maybe we can
have
talk about
What
next time I
What's
have
your
Kyle
best
on.
experience with road rage? I mean, that can we talk about that next week? Because oh man, I've had some great experiences with people, and like this made my day. I
I
still
don't know.
remember
We'll
them.
have to find out next week.
Okay, cool.
There's a bell I think Patrick wants you to hit or ding
Yeah,
or click
you're
or
gonna
something.
like, click, and subscribe, and comment something like "We suck" or "Will's almost as good as me," or you could say "Seth's almost as good as me," whichever you want.
Uh,
And that helps our algorithm, which makes more people see our videos. That's important. So
yeah. So I
we
guess
appreciate it.
this is gonna be it for us this week.
Certainly.
To the guy that posted last week's episode on the comment about my sandwich being last place, you were wrong. And that's a wrap.
It
We'll see you next.
it wasn't just last place. It was like 57,000 down. But later.
Last place. Peace.